How do you, or how many organisations do you know have made that paradigm shift where they get into social media and realise that it's about engagement? There are so many big organisations, aren't there, that get into social media and think, great, another way to send one-way communication, and then when it all goes wrong, they just don't understand why. How many times have you seen that, and how do you think you make that paradigm shift that it's not traditional media?
I think that's a really good question. Certainly Headspace saw this fantastic new environment or channel that they thought they could set up an RSS feed and just put out their media releases and newsletters, and you know, our chairperson at the time thought, fantastic, I could just get on and say what I want and then walk away. So it is really important to just bring the organisation with that idea that it's about two-way and it's transparent and it's about relationships and it's a long-term investment. You can't just you know, put the bomb down and then run away and wait for it to blow up. You've got to be there to either pick up the pieces or revel in the victory. So I've certainly seen other organisations before Headspace, and I blog about some of them. And I have to say about the first question as well, I know I've done it. I criticise organisations for their behaviour online. I've got that many blog posts on my blog about Nestle, other organisations. Just say that once we start encouraging organisations to be positive and to be transparent and to engage in a relationship, and once we start to be positive about it, they'll be positive about it as well. That fear will, I think, dissipate. So I think it's 50-50, that the organisations need to be understand that it's about two-way, but we also need to understand that if we're engaging with Telstra on Twitter, you know, be positive about it. Even if you've got a shitty service and I can't get my phone to work at my hotel, you know, don't be, you know, aggressive about it and have a whinge about it. And I've done it. Why don't you just positively, you know, ask them on Twitter, is there anything going on? Do I need to know anything? Can you fix this for me, please? It's just little things like that that I think will help break down those barriers and improve the relationships as well.
I mean, one of the things also working with a large organisation doesn't mean that we've got it 100% right, and in fact we don't. Like I said before, I don't tweet or post for our Facebook page. I was last year, and I'm not this year because it's not my job. But you know, if I had time to, it would probably be something that I really enjoy doing, because for me, I love the social aspect of social media, and I love talking to people that care about you know, the things that we do, and they care about the environment and the causes that we do work on. But you know, again, when we run a project or do a campaign, we try and map out all of our forms of communication. So, as John asked, like, it's not just about broadcasting. I mean, we send out emails to supporters. We try to engage them in a campaign when we launch it. You know, we have a video that we might launch and make it go viral, and you know, the magic word. And let me tell you, it's a shock when it actually does. So, you know, like, there's all, it's the videos, it's Facebook, it's Twitter, but it needs to be really smart, strategic planning of all those things. And I think for now, there's a lot of us that work within those organisations that have to probably practice that sort of behaviour or practice that sort of use of social media and model it for the organisations that we work for, and eventually, you know, hopefully they get it. And I think it's actually the same for the wider social change movement. You know, there's a lot of people that still think that social media for social change is a bit more of a fluffy thing. It's a nice thing where people can chat and they can post pictures and do all that sort of thing. But I actually think that, you know, long way to go yet, and some really good stuff to come.
I'll just give two very quick examples of what I've observed. Dell, I believe, is one, and they got a lot of really bad press, particularly in social media circles around their service. And somebody smart who was doing their Twitter feed convinced the CEO to get on board and make a statement that basically said, yes, we are crap and we apologise. And this is what we're doing to try and fix it, and it's not going to happen immediately, but these are the things in place. And the sentiment, I think, then online shifted quite significantly. People were still quite upset, but at least they were saying that something had changed. And the other one is actually Coke. We have a link to the agency that's just taken over Coke's social media page. And I think previously most of their Facebook page, and most of the posts on Coke were getting something in the range of like 40 or 50 comments on average. The most recent one, immediately after the agency took over, got 1,100 responses, and the question was, can or bottle? So I actually think it's about like the way that companies or their agencies think about engagement, and it doesn't have to be anything overly special, as that example probably shows.